Hi, I'm going to be showing you a 3-loop braid. I've started this braid already. This is going to be, well, I call it a square braid, although it doesn't look, it's more roundish in shape, but it's structurally done just like the whole family of square braids. A double weave, 2-layer braid with that can be done in 3 different shapes: the kind of rounded or square shape, the divided 2 braids at once shape, and a flat shape. I'll see how many I can get to in this one segment, YouTube segment. Okay, so I've already started. I've braided down to here. I started this with a loop, which I will have a tutorial explaining how to do that loop. It's just on the Braids and Bands Yahoo list files. You can join to see the files. In any case, I started it with a loop and then joined. The loop was a divided square braid, a divided 3-loop square braid, 2 braids at once. And I'm going to use the loop to actually suspend this from my C-clamp and braid in this video. So let me set it up. I had meant to show this taking it off a comb. Oh well, I have that on another video. Okay, so here we go with the 3 loops. You start with 2 on one hand, 1 on the other. Here we go. Maybe that shows better. As in the other square braids, they're with V-fell braiding. They're loaded from the index finger down. So index and middle on the left. I start this way. A left-handed person might prefer to start in the opposite configuration. The moves are the same. Well, I'll alternate. It's the same for left-handed and right-handed people, all these square braids. Where was I? So basically you're tightening by pulling all the way to the sides in a straight line. I'll try, and that's hard with the camera right in front of me. And the first move will be done by the middle finger that, here we go, the middle finger that has no loop on it will go through the lower loop of the other hand, through the middle finger loop, and then it's going to take the index finger loop. And the way it takes it is by rising above it, hooking onto the top shank of that loop from above, and just pulling it through. Excuse the knots on the bottoms of my loops. Probably for your first braids you won't have that. It'll be a solid loop with the knots all at the top of the braid. Just ignore that knot. Anyway, here it comes. I'm now going to let go with my index finger. The loop came through, and before I tighten, I'm actually going to shift this remaining loop, the loop that was left behind, I'm going to shift it up 1 position, just like that, so that the middle finger there will be free to do the next move. Now I tighten all the way out to the side, a couple times. With a 3-loop braid, this can be a slightly tricky point here, because if you pull too hard, with only 3 loops, it actually might crumple up here at the fell and be kind of, well, crumply and unevenly tensioned. And I'm going to show another way to tighten in a bit that prevents that. This is a standard way to tighten, though, all the way out to the side, and just be a little bit careful with only 3 loops. This braid is so thick, the strands are so thick that it isn't crumpling much. I've doubled, just so it would show better in the camera, I've doubled my loop. I'm using doubly thick strands of yarn here, and I'm not having any problem with it crumpling anyway. Okay, second move. The left hand is ready. The middle finger is free of loops. Now it's going to go through the middle finger loop of the other hand. Here, let's tip it, and rise up, ready to bend down and grab the upper shank, the index loop. And it does. It takes it through. Now that index finger immediately, just as soon as it loses its loop, it just goes down into the loop below it and lifts it off. That's how this loop shifts up, freeing the middle finger. Tighten. Excuse me. Middle finger is, here we go, middle finger is ready to go. Has no loop on it. It's going to go again through the lower loop of the other hand, the middle finger loop, up and over, taking the top of the index loop, which that index finger immediately walks, we call it, that's a medieval expression, actually walks into the loop that's left behind, shifting it back, shifting it up to the index finger, tighten. So the moves are pretty simple. I'll just do them. I might say something. I usually have a mantra when I braid, and it really does help in the beginning to keep everything happening so you don't forget a step like the tightening. But I'll try to talk less. So through, over, transfer, shift, tighten. Through, transfer, that's the loop transfer, shift, tighten. Through, transfer is kind of, maybe you would say take or grab from above, grab, ooh, shift, tighten. Eventually you'll be shifting at the same time as you're tightening. It's kind of hard for me to separate those two things, but in the beginning it's easier to do them separately. So through, this hand is ready to go, no loop on the middle finger, through, grab from above, shift, tighten, through, take from above, shift, tighten, through, take from above, shift, tighten, through, take from above, shift, tighten. 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 Okay, before, let's see, I'm trying to see how much time I have left. Well, this might be a good place to stop and start again on another segment. Okay, I will demonstrate putting these down on a comb, although it's not really so necessary usually with just 3 loops, but I put them down like this, palms up. Otherwise you can get really confused about which way the loops go. Always setting it down, palms up. I just have 1 loop on this hand to set down, so I'm setting it on the far left prong, or whatever it's called. Tighten up a little bit. Now I have 2 loops on this hand. I'm going to set them down lowest finger, the middle finger first, palm up, not palm down, or they'll be all twisted around when I come to pick them up. So palm down towards palm up towards the center of the comb. I get that one on. Doesn't matter if this one goes on, it's temporarily. I'm not putting it on yet. Tighten that up and hold it, and then I put the second one on somewhere on the right. There. Now they're parked on the comb, and I'm going to put a rubber band down the top. Now they can't fall off. They're secure here. Tightening up, beating a fell there. Okay, that was part 1.